Hello there, fellow humans. How's it going? Pretty hello, Mark. What? What's going on with the Polish? Are they out already? Normally they do updates on Tuesdays. Probably updates tomorrow. How's it going? Welcome. How is it going? I think this tree is getting a bit too large here, don't you think? Normally updates are. Oh, that guy is yet known as Stranger Things. No, which one is it? You're freaky. Thanks. It's in the stream. Yo. You're. Hi, Kagan. Doing great. I'm, yes. Alright. I currently exist. Got the hit for. Oh, nice. That is lovely. That is lovely. Okay, now, what do we have going on here today, as always? Should I continue starting with the Tiger 131? I'm like, hi, Keegan. How you doing? So, my spelling error will be, how will you ever recover? Oh, look, they're selling a you-know-who container. Yeah, the Colabonos. Nice. Yeah, I got like 90 of those. So, let's start with Tiger 131. Go. Now, it's kind of annoying, right? Because normally I wanted to stream Le Mans Ultimate tomorrow, but when they release a new, it's like it's a tank destroyer line. I don't give a shit about tank destroyers, but might as well at that point. Might as well stream it at that point, and I'm just gonna not get to. Video file container, yeah. Wonder when he's gonna be president. So, because apparently a requirement now. If you're at the Tiger 1 or the Tiger Frontline. What do you mean Tiger Frontline? What's that? There's a Tiger 1, there's a Tiger 2, there's a Tiger 131, there's a unspecified Battle Pass Tiger that I don't remember the name of, and there's the Kuro, which is the Weeb Tiger. Event Tiger. I don't know anything about an Event Tiger. So... oh, that one. Just 7. Okay, it's a Tiger copy. Well, I don't have that. Nor do I care, really. Let's see. You get for doing 20 battles times 4 on doing quests. Well, I won't be doing that, but yeah. Let's see. Just enriched Tiger. Icebreaker, okay, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one! Yeah. Yeah, what is the point of front armor when you can just, like, do this? Don't think that guy's particularly skilled at this game. We might also just be having a little bit of trouble. Alright. Turn around the other side. Now, here's a top gamer tip. Don't drive into an AT-15A. Ever. Second top gamer tip, just fire into people's sides. Don't try to, like, front face people. You know, don't do that. Just... fight people from the side, right? That's where they're weaker, you know? Like, a turtle is also weaker when you put it upside down. It's the same way with Blitz players. They're a lot weaker when you're on their side. 55 breakthrough. Is that a tank or just a camouflage? Because they've got like 15 T-34s now. Oh, we lose. That's a bit unfortunate. Hello. Wirkungstreffer. Well, it ain't so effective now, is it? Just gotta make sure to not die to the tiger. Oh, Helsing, there it is. And it did 12 damage. Most likely. 85 and front on the tutorial tanks. Well, I mean, the tutorial tanks have always been... At the start, it was like tier 1 tanks, and then it was like the M4, which, you know, kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Tiger frontline. Well, mate, you kind of needed the tutorial again. Because, like, this is the kind of level where you, like... 9k battles, 45%, that's where you're like... Yeah, you gotta try a little bit, you know? Because otherwise you're gonna stay there, and we don't want that. Play 20 battles. Complete this quest 4 times from August 1st to 31st. Oh, well. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It says 2 days and 23 hours. But 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You don't have till the 31st. Or do you have to, like, complete the 20 battles within 3 days, and then you have to do the 20 battles 4 times? Which would also be weird. And there's also this, which obviously don't have any boosters for, so I would have to do it via the missions, which I'm not going to do, and you can't even buy these, so I'm probably not going to get the tank. Alright, because 24 euros just to get the stuff is a tragedy. Right? Go to the Helsing. Of course, I get the next one. Alright, I see. So, waste of time then, so you just have to play 20, 40, 60, 80 battles. And I get about 30 and a 35 in a stream. And next Tuesday is September, so I won't be getting back to this, probably. Now, I mean, I could be getting back to it tomorrow, maybe, if I stream the Polish tanks, but then I'll be at, like, 60 battles. So... Your tanks probably not a day. Yeah, but you have to play, like, 80 battles. I mean, at least it's not wins, at least it's battles, right? So... It's better. At least it's something. Hello, Muff, how are you doing? Yeah, I mean, Wargaming never was any good at making their own events, really, so it's, like, no surprise. Remember how many times it already happened that, like, oh, this event's gonna last 2 weeks. Oh, wait a minute, why does the timer say it expires tomorrow? Yeah. At this point, I'm convinced that either the Wargaming devs, they're not getting paid enough to give a shit, or they're just deliberately sandbagging the game. Because otherwise, how do you explain that? That it just keeps happening every single time, you know, with expected frequency. You basically, like, know that every second or third event is gonna be broken. In some form or another. Alright. This is why I don't like double shots, because with double shots you have to continuously expose yourself, and you don't want to do that. You do not want to continually expose yourself, especially not in the open. Wow, didn't get that one. You tech tree, probably. Hi, Walken, how you doing? Welcome. He probably will. Even though it might be time to, like, split the European tech tree into their respective tech trees, but obviously they're not going to do it because they're going to reforge everything. And they're also gonna reforge World of Tanks PC. I don't know if you guys seen that. They're gonna like reforge the World of Tanks PC matchmaker. So that's gonna be fun. They're gonna get rid of Grand Battles and Assault and stuff like that. Because as far as I know, like they're getting rid of all the other game modes. So that the matches get faster, so they can make the matchmaking better. Because the player numbers are just declining, so they don't get the matches anymore. But anyway, so I think we keep going. How about you? I'm fine. I am doing just fine. Alright. Yeah, normally updates are always Wednesday in Blitz. So, you know, if it ain't tomorrow, then it's next week or whatever. I don't know. Maybe even if I had like access, well, I do have access to all the like release. Man, hold on. To be fair, the internal communication of wargaming is just as chaotic as the external one, so don't worry about that. Yeah, sometimes you get a month notice. Sometimes you get a month notice of something, and then another time it's just like, there's the tank. Oops. So, I mean, I'm probably not gonna do it now though, because that would take probably like 2 hours of programming. And they can't afford that because they have to invest that into refining the gambling mechanic for Reforged or something like that. So, can't do that. And after however many 100 years, they've finally managed to get the Swedish crew voices, which were already in the game, by the way, transferred to the Swedish tanks. Right, so they didn't... I mean, I don't know if they made new ones, but... like... the heck. There's new crates every week, but can't do that. After like 6 or 7 years. Alright. I mean, I have no idea about the Polish tank destroyers. I know they're in World Tanks PC. They're those like deep rifled gun tanks that somehow do more damage the closer you are. So there we go. So what's better than 1010? I don't know about that. I guess the revenue dropped a lot. Well, it probably did. I mean, if you look at the player numbers, if we assume the Steam numbers to be sort of representative of the overall numbers, right? We have a drop in about 15 to 20% of players since December. Right? So... 1010 is so garbage. Wait, ain't those the people that made Forza Motorsport? So... yeah, I get that. I got that. Wargaming is slacking for sure. Well, they're not slacking, they're just milking. That's the thing, like... they removed... the equipment from bundles. And a tier 10, that's like 3k gold worth of credits. If you were to convert it, right? Obviously, you can earn credits a lot easier than gold, so it's not an exact comparison, but if you were to calculate it that way, then you've got a value of like 3.7k gold or something like that, that you're losing out on by the bundles not including the equipment anymore. Right? I mean, we'll see in December, right? That's gonna be the real deciding point. How many people come back for December as well? But If the December numbers are bad, and they don't recover, then Blitz is in a hell of a lot of trouble. Right, then Blitz is in a lot of trouble, because here's the thing. Blitz is not going to die anytime soon. Like, it's going to keep chugging along, right? It's going to chug along terribly. Right? Even more gambling, even more repetitive events, you know, the quality is going to reduce massively over the time. But it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, because as soon as you can still make a profit with it, Wargaming is not going to just suddenly give up with it, you know? Like, the same with World Tanks PC, like, that's how they make money, and as long as you can turn a profit out of it, you know, they're probably going to keep doing it, right? And there's a reason why they're, like, moving the servers together with, like, EU, NA, and the Reforged. You just have one, like, global account sort of thing, which is what every other game company ever has, where you can just, like, you have your account and you can play on whatever server you want, basically. It's only Wargaming that's stupid, where if you, like, want to play with friends from NA, you have to make a whole new account. So you can see the struggle in the NA and Asia server, right? And the, like, in the Forge that they're now putting them together. You doing, the Priest Loner? How you doing? All right. Damn. All right. But that's the thing, like, you can't improve, at this point, the core formula of the game. Right, the gameplay, the player base, you basically have to kick out a third of the player base to improve the gameplay experience of the game. Right, because there's a lot of, like, especially in the higher levels, or, like, higher battle levels, I mean, you know, with, like, 10,000 plus battles, you have, like, this stock of mediocrity that's never gonna go away. Right, where you simply have people that don't care, that just waste their time with the game, you know, they don't try, basically. So they just waste their time with it. And you're not going to improve those guys, ever. And match quality is therefore never going to actually improve. Well, man, let's be honest, most Super Unicums don't want to fight other Super Unicums. I mean, they do that in tournaments, but nobody in a regular battle wants to fight another Super Unicum on the enemy team. You know, because, or even worse, I mean, Super Unicum on your enemy team is not that big of a deal, but if you have another Super Unicum or a Unicum on your team, that's terrible, because they're going to steal your damage, right? And they can't do that, they're not allowed to do that, it's your damage. So, so, that is never going to improve. So basically, Blitz is already dead. From that perspective, because again, something that does no longer grow does die. Like, the human, for example, starts dying at about 24, 25, 26, that kind of age. That's when the human starts dying. That's when there's more destroyed than produced. So, and you can drag that on for a very long time. You know, you can drag that on for 75, 90 years from the time that you start dying to end it, really. So, just because something is in the process of dying doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, even though I would hope that it would happen very quickly to the US president, because that would be very nice, but basically, something being in the process of dying doesn't mean that it's going to go away anytime soon. It's just, Blitz is in the process of dying. But that can take 5 years, that can take 10 years, for example. But an organism that no longer grows, it dies. Hello, baboon. Who doesn't? Well. See, even Hulk Hogan, who was called the Immortal Hulk Hogan, couldn't run away from that. Alright. Noobs don't hate themselves, do they? I mean, probably not. You know, probably not. Most of them just don't care. Which is true with the majority of people. You know, the majority of humans don't care. Right? Like, if you're in a train and there's like a drunk guy screaming at everybody. Everyone's like trying to like get out of his way and be like, get the hell away from me. And even when the guy's gonna start hitting people, they're gonna be like, leave me alone. And then one guy is gonna be like punching him in the face and knocking him out, so he's gonna be quiet for the rest of the ride, right? But most people are just gonna be like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. That's effort. Yeah, 20k battles of Unicum. Congratulations. See, that's the other thing, right? Once you're good enough, eventually you will know that it's all a waste of time, because the fundamentals of Blitz, once you understand them, are pretty easy, and you can predict battles pretty easily. Like, I would say that in 50% of battles you can tell in the first 30 seconds whether it's won or lost, simply by the way the team moves. Let me check that. You just go on Blitz. You go on BlitzStars. You type in your username. You look at the number, and if the number is above 3,000, you have a wank. And if not, you cry. So. Hola. Damage assistance. See, I mean, like, it's all just awareness at this point. It's like, the guy's staring at me. I'm not gonna peek that. I can't pin him. No, he's got a turret. Hello. Just gonna stare at him. Instead, there's a Forest Witch over there. Look at that. 3 damage. Ooh. So difficult. So difficult, this game. Nice, how you doing? Hello to last week. Yep, I mean, it's tier 7, so we'll maybe get to tier 8 at some point. My first split stream, it looks like piss. What'd you do? What did you do? Tell us. What's your computer? What's your software? What's your settings? What's your internet? No glory. That's a bad idea. I've been doing a little German man. I'm alive. I'm currently in the process of living, which is nice. And now I'm dead. Alright, Aaron, how you doing? I got 2 sweat boosters. Oh yeah. Sweat, yeah. Right, another 200. Let's activate those boosters. Well, today is not tank requests. Next week's tank requests. So we can move up to the Vipera now, which is very nice. Heck is it? Oh yeah, there it is. See, also, you can also see how Wargaming operates by, you know, they introduced the CC. It's good. They introduced the Vipera. Vipera's worse than the CC, so they nerfed the CC to make the Vipera sound like a better deal. Great success. Who is discording me? Fix the color on my second one, but computer needs more RAM. Well, how much RAM do you have? If the number is 8, then it's not enough RAM. Tier cam blitz are like good. Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you're blue, you're like already in the top 10% of players or something like that. So, well, 8 gigs and yeah, that's not enough. Didn't even know this. It should be illegal to still sell computers with 8 gigs of RAM. It should be illegal. Like, the minimum is 16 if you want to have a good experience. I mean, 8's passable for a, like a office laptop. So... Hello, little guy. Well. You gotta be kidding me. Why? Why does he do that? Like... Hey, okay, how you doing? Like, why does that guy believe that it's a good idea to just sit in front of a Vipera for half an hour? Play my MacBook Pro. Oh, well, that's... How, yeah, like, extra 8 gigs of RAM was probably like $5,000 there. Because, like, people that buy Apple computers are, like... into getting dominated, you know? It's like sort of like a FinDom fetish or something against Apple. Where they're like, yes, Apple, please make me pay 500 euros for a 30-euro part. Alright. I almost played Tanks and Matilda. Oh. It's hilarious. That is hilarious. Max would be a decent deal if they weren't badly chipped and let's try to sell them locked down. Well, I mean, the M chips are really power efficient and incredibly useful, but Apple just hates RAM and SSD storage. Like, they just don't give you any. So... Tim Apple doesn't like RAM, you know? See, this is what marketing calls captive audience, right? You cannot leave until you decide, and if you leave, then you can never get this again. Right? And that is predatory. Now, given that he's certain Blitz YouTuber still has his press account, Wargaming doesn't have a problem with predators. I beg to differ, I own 4Max, and I'm the Dominator. Yeah, but, like, if you're working in the creative space, it kind of makes sense, you know, if, like... If you're a screenplay writer that drinks a double latte with quinoa milk, or whatever that is, and you sit at Starbucks all day, then you have to have an Apple product. That's a law. Right? You know, if you're in the sort of creative space, then it makes sense, but normally you would, like, no normal person should buy an Apple computer. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and you have, like... a Pro Tools version from 2004, because it wasn't a subscription yet. I run that on a Mac, and you're good. Or something like that. Everything's a subscription now. Wait, what's that light jab and big no hair face? What do you mean light jab? Well, I mean, if you shouldn't... You know, I'm kind of mean for bringing that up, you know, because you probably fell on his head as a child, and that's why he's like that. So... yeah. I mean, he's got the narcissism, and he's... If he gets through a couple of kids for real, he could run for president. You know, narcissist, self-absorbed, useless. Perfect requirements to become president. Boom! What does the top fans think? I don't know. I'm just gonna waste that reload because... Hell no. Alright. I'm not touching myself for free time. Max IGPU is decent though. I have RX 460 some chips. Yeah. I mean, generally max on ideal for gaming. Anyway. They're better than they used to be, but they're still not good. And drop the name. I don't even know who you're talking about. So... So... You mean the confidence without competence? Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Prescription price of the Adobe package is the least of my costs. True. I mean... It is still way too much though, because the DaVinci Resolve license is $300. A Creative Cloud is like 700 a year, so, you know. Alright. And you get the benefit of InDesign, which is the least intuitive program ever made, and Premiere. Yeah. Like, the only thing that there's not a good alternative to really is After Effects. So there's that. Narcissism can get you very ahead in life, but life is shit. Well, what often does get you ahead in life is ruthlessness. It's like, if you treat life as a zero-sum game and you start with 0, you stay at 0, right? You have to take more from others than they give you. Right? So... yeah. Because if you trade 1 for 1, you're never gonna go up. Right? You always have to fuck up. You have to fuck over the other guy harder than they're trying to fuck you over. That's business, you know? I made money with this. Well, I have made enough money with Blitz YouTube to essentially eliminate my spending on Blitz, so that's a zero-sum game. Oh, you bums. Use Pro Tools though, don't do the clap. 2 years ago. Yeah. I had to use InDesign for a project a while ago, and I'm glad I don't have to actually use it for anything useful because Jesus Christ. It's like, hey, do you want to change the size of an image? Well, you can't do that. You have to middle click and then you have to drag that and then do that and yeah. No thanks. Alright. Let's go South Korea, like, oh yes. I don't know what that word means, but probably. Give me trust I'm gonna be the next big Blitz YouTuber and I will not follow me. Well, good luck with that. My advice to you is if you want to become a Blitz YouTuber, just don't. At this point. So... like... you know, during COVID and when everyone was stuck inside and when there was no point, it was a decent thing to do, but now don't do that. Please do something useful with your life. Please do something useful with your life. How make so much more money than the one time a year he spends at Lidl wrap. What? I don't go to Lidl. Mainly because there's no Lidl around here. So do go to Aldi though. Aldi is like Walmart, but 100 times better. Alright. So I joined March 2020. Shut it by COVID last time. Exactly. In a position you can get a regular job. Yeah, but you're also not gonna make much money with this. Unless you like make 3 videos a day or something, which I did like 5 videos a week at some point in 2022 or something like that, and that was already super annoying and painful, so I wouldn't want to do more of that. Right, the problem is I have to like wait for both reloads here, and the Tiger's kind of useless, so I'm gonna die. Mate, kill the SU, you... Yeah, well, whatever, it's over. It's over anyway. If the M4 wouldn't be there, then it maybe would be passable, but... What is happening with my ping? Like, my ping's normal. What's happening? All this better than a little though. Well, it depends what you need. Though, as well, you know, it's like... Alright. His friend. You... Basically, you will... Basically, you will... pretty much never see a good player go into the city with a medium at the start of the battle. Right? You will pretty much never see that unless you're trying to do like a rush plan where you take a fast medium, you hammer it through the city and then come out the other way and shoot the enemies in the ass. Right, but that also requires good timing and luck. So you're pretty much never gonna, like, whenever you see a medium going city, you're like, okay, that guy sucks. In most cases. Like 90% of cases when you have a medium that goes to the heavy side, they're just not good. Want to get money for making stuff online, you can't think anymore. I mean, the easiest way to not pay any taxes is to just be rich. Then you don't have to pay any taxes. If you're poor, you have to pay all the taxes. But if you're rich, you don't have to pay taxes. So, I think your mobile data is more committed. What do you mean mobile data? I'm not using mobile data. The stream's fine. The ping's fine. Some game thing that's wacky, and Wargaming probably didn't feed the server hamster this time. Yeah, what is that? Genuinely. Hey, MX, you're fucking useless. Has anyone ever told you that? Alright. Wow. Now that loses the battle. Unless that T95 pushes through quickly. Because what happens now... I mean, the ML's in a bad spot. But what happens now is those two guys take out the AMX. Right? Who suddenly has found out that he's supposed to play the game, actually. And he's dead now. Like, he somehow got away. IC-130 is in a terrible position. So basically they can win this if the enemy team sucks, which they do. So this is like mutual elimination of stupidity, basically. Alright. Not to use any 50 ammo on heavy lane. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do that because... What is happening? Why does this keep going? Why does it keep going? Why? I'm gonna just restart the game real quick. See if this You know, the funny thing is if I type in world, what happens on like the search results are the first search result is uninstall World of Warships. So my computer knows what's going on. What do you think of the new ChatGPT 11 tanks? I have not seen a single one of them because I didn't really care, so I don't know. I don't know, like maybe they're useful, maybe they're not, I don't know. Oh look, I gotta use this avatar. Oh fuck. I don't want to do that. Alright. Where is it? There it is. I don't remember what tank I died to. Here's that. Seek professional help. If you have a gambling addiction, seek professional help. Therapy or something. And that, I mean, don't go to BetterHelp because they won't help you. Oh, look at that. I want to claim the mission. But oh no, I have to pay 24 euros to claim it. Because look at Wargaming being a bunch of marketing geniuses, right? To basically annoy you into buying it. Look at that. There's a 1. You can't get it away. Oh my god, there's a 1 notification. You can't get the notification away. I have to buy the mission pass to get the notification away. Oh my god. That's kind of funny because I don't have that. So I think I don't. So shift and X canal defender. So it's not back here, so I don't have that. What's the closest tank to an FVE defender? Probably something like this. It kind of looks like... You know what? Oh, we're going old school. Let's take this one. 20 is gonna get you the Witcher 3. True that. Or it can get you Forza Horizon 5. I've seen on Steam. There's a sale currently, I think, about Forza Horizon 5, which if you don't have Forza Horizon, absolutely get it because it's worth it. It's a great racing game. Highly recommend it. I do that. Forza Horizon is great. Forza Motorsport is shit. Horizon is great, but Motorsport is not. If you want to buy a sim racing game, then get Le Mans Ultimate because it's just better. Simply better. Forza Horizon 4. British. What is happening in this game, dude? Fix your damn servers, Wargaming. Jesus. Fix the slideshow stream for Limo. I have, yes. I mean, the... No, it's 35 euros. Plus the season pass if you want all the tracks, but it's worth it. So, Wait, idiot. Who are you talking about? Me? No. Can't be. How many people on the stream is streaming as magic is true? Well, I don't know. Because I don't really make videos anymore. So it's not getting recommended to a lot of people. Because even though that you're subscribed to a channel, YouTube doesn't send notifications to anyone unless you know, are lucky. Enemy is hit. So let's see. I mean, I could solve the Limo Ultimate problem by simply buying a 9070 XT. Easily solve it that way. Just buy a 9070 XT. But I have now solved it by simply limiting the frame rate, and then it works. Why does team carry you? Yeah, but that's like 2% of battles. There's a 183 back there, and I don't like that. Hey, buddy, you're slow as fuck. Look at the turning radius. That's like mouse level of turning radius. Turning speed. That is pathetic. Jesus. That is pathetic. Because the only danger... I have to take out the shirt in here first. Oh, we're not winning this one, lads. Gotcha. We don't win this one! Unless that object's like particularly awful. She might not be. And there's still a 183 back there. And he's just gonna YOLO it. And the 57 can't even win against the friggin' that dude. Jesus. Nobody cares at this point. One of our tracks is damaged. I'm gonna go for damage here. It's like, what's the point? Oh, Blood Visions, how you doing? This game looks pretty good with the graphics that I mean, for a phone game, it's pretty good. 35 times 20 or 700. Well, lads. I got Minotauro, you have 42% win rate. What's your problem? How does he thumbs down? These things mean nothing, but it's kind of hilarious anyway. Alright, Shaw Future. Hello, Eric. How you doing? What I hear is I'm a noob. Basically, if you suck under 5,000 battles, then that's normal. You're supposed to. If you still suck at 10,000 battles, you maybe might want to find a different game. And I'm talking like 45% win rate and below. Because basically, if you're like below, let's say you're like below 42%, you basically are actively losing, right? You want to lose, you're actively trying to lose, right? You're an active detriment to your team if you got that low of a win rate, like below 42, right? Like you're purposely losing matches at that point. If I'm good under 5,000 battles, then you will be accused of being a reroll account. Of course, it's the natural state of Blitz. This ain't no tank request, this is something else. Unless I forgot to put in the correct title. Hola. Hola, Habibi. How you doing? People that are below 40%, they're probably just actually just trolling. Right, because that's pretty much impossible to, like, if you're below 40%, you're like playing on 800 ping, and you're constantly blocking your teammates or something like that. Below 40%, which means you can't stick around events. Yeah. We love event players. We love them. Should they bring all battle detail screens? Yeah, because here's the thing. Design is complex. And if you redesign something, you don't want to basically make everything different. Like, you don't want to put every button in a different place. Like, imagine redesigning the keyboard and then putting the buttons in different places. Nobody would buy it. Like, who would buy a keyboard now with the buttons in a different place, you know? It's like, oh, yes, we swapped the G and the L for no. Right? Like, if you redesign something, you want to change the outside parameters, you know, the way it looks and the way it interacts, but you don't want to change the actual core function of it because everybody's just going to hate it at that point. Right? You want to change it, but you also want to keep some level of familiarity because the human doesn't like change all that much, even though change is inevitable, of course. I still don't like how. Remember when Wargaming, like, when they changed the aiming system? Still don't like how, like, weirdly snappy it is now. Still don't like that. So, ooh, I got downvoted. I got a bling bling downvote from my name is player. Here's my name is player. Is the Jagdtiger. Hoot hoot, bitch. He downvoted. Well, he did. Okay, he did downvote everyone. He ducked this guy because he missed. Look at that. He missed on the FV because he ducked him instead of downvoting him. Ugh, you sad. 100,000 pals since 2016. Ugh, player, what are you doing? What we got going on here? What we got down here? I don't think this guy is particularly good. Eh. He played a lot worse than he is in that battle. So, you know, Onward Mobile. Yeah. Ping goes 450. Yeah, that's not good. Like, the maximum you can play in Blitz is like 200, 250. You don't want over there. Sounds bad. I mean, you'll be accused of being a reroll, but you're not a reroll, so it doesn't really matter. Today was Tank Request. Well, next week's Tank Request. It used to be Tank Requests every Tuesday, but now it's Tank Requests every second Tuesday, pretty much. So, yeah. Well, that's not good. That's better. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. How? Really, man? Just how? How? Lads, how? Oh god. GG. Tank gets praised too much here, but it's not good. Oh, it's average. Like pretty much 90% of tanks in this game, it is in fact average. Because here's the thing, if every tank's good, then everything is average, because that's how average works, you know, like... Like I say, if you walk into a Walmart, and everyone's really huge, and like, they weigh like 400 pounds, but it's in a Walmart, and they're all 400 pounds, and 400 pounds is the average weight in the Walmart. Right? But... in Blitz, most of the tanks are within, like, the same 5 to 10% of performance, and the player makes a so much bigger difference that you might as well ignore 90% of tanks' actual stats. And just find the tank's stats that appeal to your playstyle the best. Right, there are obviously going to be a lot of outliers, like the Smasher and something like that, which is just like... elevate you above. Or new tanks, right? If you spend 200 euros on a new tank, you can, for about 3 to 4 weeks, enjoy the enemy's inability to actually functionally deal with you, just for the vehicle to then return to it being just average. Basically. Can you play at tier 1? Well, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I do it every stream still. That we end with the M2 Lite, and unfortunately it only happens in like 30 to 40% of streams anymore that I actually get a battle in tier 1. But still get battles in tier 1. I got one last week. I got a battle in tier 1 last week, so that was quite nice. Don't know where the 183 is. But at this point, he could have hit me by now. So I don't think he's actually back there. Or he's just slow. He doesn't know that I'm here yet. I mean, that Jagdtiger is a problem. And that... They can't even pen the dude, what the heck? What the heck? Tanks really need PvP, I don't know. I don't even know which tanks do have it, and which don't. Because, like, graphics is probably the least important thing about a game. Oh my... Jesus, what is this team doing, man? I'm being absolutely... forked here. But yeah, I mean, this thing is... This is one of those tanks that can give you an advantage, right? Like, if you play this, you'll have an advantage. Over, like, let's say, an E75 or something like that. You will have an advantage, but... It's not that big, like, it's always only gonna buff out a certain level. Like, if you're a 45% player in this tank, you're still gonna lose against the 55% player in an E75. Right? It's only, like, it's gonna elevate your level above what you are. But it's not gonna suddenly make you a super unicum if you just play a better tank. Right? It's merely gonna allow you to fight worse tanks, better players and worse tanks, and then be equal to them, pretty much. That game. It's not me. Come on, reload quicker. Come on. 5774. Well, ain't that beautiful? Why not? Why not? Ace on stream. I mean, I average probably like 1.3 aces per stream. And I played 30 battles. Mostly because of the M2 light. And the M3 light. But because of that as well. The check could replace the check heavy in tier 10. If you make it a tier 10, it wouldn't be that good, no. If you reduce the intro clips to 2 seconds, then yeah, but otherwise, no. Like, you buff the hit points and buff the intro clip to 2, and you got yourself a tier 10, but otherwise, no. Not really. No. Well, bro is throwing. Goodbye. And we win, GG. So... doesn't matter. Now we've got control over the whole map. CDC, I mean it is a CDC, it was a... I think the CDC is like the biggest paperweight in Blitz. And look at that. Most over-tiered tank in your opinion? What do you mean over-tiered? Don't even pin his damn track on that. Alright. If you mean overpowered, then... I wouldn't know at the moment, but... Probably still one of the crazy tier 7s. Tank that is in a higher tier than it should be. Good question. Object 704. Object 704. Alright, because it's like a tier 7 hull. Pretty much. And it just has the BL-10. Right, all the entire Soviet Tankster tech tree is like... The hulls are like 2 tiers lower, but the BL-10 just... Under... Yeah, well... Well, then you got the Smasher again. Which probably should be a tier 8. Would be funnier if it was a tier 8. Would have to be more accurate if it was a tier 8, but... Yeah. Yes, 3.7. Overrated. What's an overrated tank? Every single tank that has been released. Like, because whenever a new tank comes out, people are like, oh, this tank is amazing, this tank is OP, blah, 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 blah. And then 3 months later, you never hear about the tank ever again, because it actually turns out that it's just mediocre. You know, like 90% of new tank releases are just pointless. I mean, the Type 63 is the... Is there any other tank that was released in the last 2 years that's actually good? Type 63, which is pretty good, but... You know, what's the... Stream kind of empty. Well, if you look at the Blitz player numbers, then it has decreased a lot, so... And if you also look at the amount of videos I make, then that also has decreased a lot, and those 2 factors both contribute to that. Right, like if I'd make more videos, and if I do more streams, and if Blitz wouldn't be as shit as it is, then there would also be more people watching, probably. And if I wouldn't be as uninterested in the game and simply merely interested in a conversation with you guys, then maybe there would be more people as well. And if I would be less realistic and more... Like, here's the thing, right? Like, nobody likes to be told that they're wrong, right? So, when you have someone that just confirms everything, is like, yeah, every tank, like, someone that says every tank's great, obviously is going to have a lot more confirmation bias attached to them than someone that's like, yeah, everything's average, which it is. But, you know, nobody likes to have told that their tank is average. In a way, as well. So... basically, negativity only works when it's attached to anger, when you can make someone angry against something. You know? Otherwise, it's just... don't mind being told that I'm wrong. Well, you're in a very small minority, then. Anyhow, lobster cast when? I don't know. Oh, no. Why do you have to remind me of that? The family guy, Iraq lobster. Why would you have... why? I just got reminded of that. I just got reminded of the Iraq lobster. Oh, no. Okay, with Hellcat. Well, the Hellcat is a tier 6 and also belongs in tier 6 because it's paper. It's like the Leopard. Like, paper tanks always underperform their capabilities. The Leopard is much better than it performs because people don't know how to play it because it's weak in terms of armor. Right? And if you don't have armor, you don't have security. Right? The more armor you have, the more mistakes you can make. The more mistakes will be forgiven. Right? Like this. You know, if I'm in a Leopard, that's gonna pen. That Caro's gonna pen. I've bounced 2 shots already. If I'm in a Leopard, those 2 shots will go in. Right? If I had a good team, then I wouldn't be dying here. For example, as well. Ugh, jeez. It's kind of funny because in Wolf Tanks PC, the Super Hellcat's one of the shittiest tanks ever. Because it's literally just the Hellcat, but a tier higher, and with barely any changes. Gatolf. I feel bad for the E50M. Nice try, though. He did a really... like, the E50M did a great job over there at holding them back for so long that we might still be able to win this now. Somehow. Oh, that's great. Thank you for volunteering your death. Alright. Is that AFK? It probably is. Not gonna get to it, though. It would be free meat, but... those guys are gonna get to it, and... come on, cross. Yeah, come on, stay there. Come on, yeah, exactly, stay there. Stay out in the open. Stay out in the open. Stay out in the open. That's a great plan, mate. That's a great plan. Woo! So many deer in the headlight people in this game. Like, there's so many players in this game that just like, ah! What do I do? What do I do? An enemy? They have no idea how to actually fight somebody. Even though it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Fight people when they're not fighting you. You know, I mean, I'm gonna die here, probably, unless he's, like, pretty bad at aiming. Basically, that's the miss 2 to... Are you gonna let me reload, dude? Seriously? Well, he's gonna let me reload. See, this is the thing, right? I can put myself into situations where I know I'm guaranteed gonna lose that situation, and I still win. In some cases. But it is just like utterly hilarious. Thank you, Arctic Bee, for the excellent assist. See, that's the thing. He's a terrible player, but he did the right thing. He did a really good job there. He obviously did no damage somehow. Like, he was fighting 3 people and it did no damage. I don't know how the hell you managed that, but he did a pretty good job at, like, being a meat shield to keep them alive. So you gotta appreciate him for that, even though he is kind of not that good, but... Hello, Diego. How you doing? All right. I hope for Polish everything like yo. Oh yeah. I mean the Murat was never really hyped, to be honest. I wouldn't know anybody that would hype that thing. I'm alive, Diego. I'm alive. Yeah. Quit, then came back and it existed. Yeah, but it's not like good or anything. It's like, I think the most pointless tank that they've added in the last couple of years was probably the 1321. Gotta say, it just does nothing. It just does absolutely nothing. Come on, Peak. Thank you. This thing a bit too good. Yeah, just a little bit. Especially because people can't aim, right? Because normally this thing's not that hard to defeat, right? You can just shoot the cupolas. It's not really magic. It's got 4 seconds interclip, which isn't good either. Like 4 seconds interclip, no good. But you know, it's an autoloader, and look at that. It did 600 damage to that guy. He's dead with 1 shot. Obviously, playing the SU-130 PM like that is a bad idea generally. But Gatov. Didn't even have time to fire. Too bad. Ow. It did have time to fire. But yeah, it's like... Most of the time when tanks are really good, it's because they basically limit the enemy's options of beating it. Get the hell away from me. Like, I'm basically side-scraping off that wall the entire time I'm driving there. He's looking at me. I don't want to do that. Fucking lol. I mean, he can pen me in like the lower... Like here. He could pen me right here. But he just fired HE because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to anticipate the shots, which, you know, nice try, but... So he's just HEing the track because he can't pen me. I don't have to just set that out. I mean, I know he wants me, but I'll be unspotted in a couple of seconds, I think. See? I was not spotted. When having a pole in this game is like the worst way to balance a tank because only the 50% shoot at it. Yes. Pretty much. This thing has 2 very weak cupolas that, like, if you depress the gun, the cupolas will elevate. So you can't hide those cupolas ever anywhere. So, but still, people still don't know what the hell what they're doing. Add more ore to the G. What do you mean? Remember knowing someone that used to overglaze the shit out of this tank? Well, that was me. To a degree. It is still pretty good, but mainly because people suck. Hi, Jean. How you doing? Like, this thing does well because it's funky. Like, its armor is funky. And the mobility is not that good, I mean. Speaking Russian. Yeah, but why would I want to correctly pronounce that? So... like, whenever I write Russia, I don't capitalize it because I don't respect them. Like, I just write Russia with a small r. So... I don't care about pronunciation of the Russian language. So... Still must be the Conqueror. Maybe. Maybe. Well, we lose, by the way. Oh. You're too horny, brother. See, look, that's a T-30. That thing's got 5 bazillion penetration. And they're still losing over there. Right? The entire enemy team is here. But those guys over there still lose because they fucking suck. Jesus, man. Ah, come on, let me... Oh, you missed. Come on. Alright, at least I died to a tier 10, so we're at tier 10 now. Let's go. And now only the tankster goobers are left alive. They're always busy because they're rushing everywhere. I mean, if you look at Russia's history, then they've pretty much... the only thing they've ever done is invade other people and make their lives worse, so... and make their own lives worse, so... congratulations on that. I mean, the English have done that as well, and while they suck now, at least during the majority of the time when they were invading other places, they benefited themselves. They didn't make themselves more miserable by invading other people as well. Right, because it's kind of what Russia has done. Like, Russia has made themselves miserable by trying to make other people miserable. Whereas, like, the British or the French, they made other people's lives miserable, but they profited off it themselves, at least for a while. Right? So imagine trying to do imperialism, but being so terrible at it that you shoot yourself in the leg. That's impressive. You know, like... because you would imagine that if you want to... exploit and murder and enslave other people, at least you benefit off it. But they don't! Right? Like, imagine how pathetic you have to be. Let's get this show on the road. Alright. Imagine how pathetic you have to be to fail that badly. As a good player, I can blame teams and RNG every time I suck. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. These politicians pushed the elevator to Germany against France. Yeah. There was also Oswald Mosley, for example. So... basically, any country, any group of people, any society, any... there are always at least 15% assholes, like, that are bad people, that want to cause harm to others. 15%. You will have that in any society. Now, the difference between societies is, will those 15% of people have support from other people? And will those 15% of people be in positions of power? Right? Will they be able to do that, what they want to do to others? So that's the difference, you know? So I have no idea how those guys lost that, those two Progettos lost that badly. But yeah, I mean, they're all up here, so that's why they lost that badly. So, well done, lads. You're not good at this game. Oh, how Progettos? How? But yeah, I mean, there's always terrible people anywhere. I mean, just depends on whether they're in power or not, you know? Like, the orange guy existed while the old guy was president. He just didn't have any power. Right? So, there's always going to be terrible people. Just matters whether those terrible people are allowed to dictate that word is intentional, are allowed to dictate their will onto other people. Right? And it doesn't matter whether it's like what kind of idiot it is, or what kind of evil people it is, you know, whether that be like Pol Pot or Mustache Man or Stalin or the orange guy who, please, heart disease, do your thing. You know, it's always under 50% in Iceland. And they just hide it better. Yeah. I mean, there were Jews that liked the Nazis till they went through the chimney themselves. So, I mean, there are conservative homosexuals. You know, the simple act of belonging to a minority doesn't make someone intelligent. I think that's clear. It should have been obvious from the start, you know? Like, just because, just because somebody's part of a minority doesn't mean they're somehow more virtuous or more intelligent or better. They're just part of a minority that tends to happen to be suppressed by certain people. So, you're always going to have people part of groups that hate them because they think they're one of the good ones. You know? It's like, you know, when like Latino people and stuff vote for the orange guy, you know, they're, you know, I mean, I think they're worse than white people that do that, right? Because if you're like, I mean, obviously if you're white and poor, you're still gonna suffer, of course, but at least you can pretend that you're gonna profit, right? But if somebody claims that people that look just like you eat cats and dogs, and then voting for that person is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Right, so yeah. It's like, oh, but we're one of the good ones. He's not gonna harm us. He's just gonna he's just gonna harm the illegal brown people. He's not gonna harm the legal. But he can't tell the damn difference. So he can't tell the damn difference. Because for a guy like the orange man, there is white and there is wrong. Alright. Come here. Now we have a grill. 15 seconds. Uh-oh. Trump who works missing 7 million who voted for him. Yeah, those people are stupid. And or evil. Simple as that. Like, if you vote for fucking Bush or Mitt Romney or something, you know, whatever. You don't know what's going on. Okay, I get it. But if you vote for that guy, then that's like brain damage. I don't know if it's the lead or the microplastics or the radiation or the asbestos or the high fructose corn syrup or the processed food dyes or whatever that does that, but you know. Hi, okay, doing. Jamaica immigrants were on their way to Somalia. Well, here's the thing. When the people that vote for that get hurt, I think that's a good thing. Because they wanted that. Right? It's like if you go to a dominatrix shop, or like if you go to a dominatrix dungeon, you want to be humiliated and hurt, right? You go there to, right? So if you vote to be humiliated and hurt, and you get humiliated and hurt, then that's great for you, right? That's exactly what you wanted. Amazing. Right? It just happens that the people that didn't want to go there, right? They shouldn't be hurt by that. And that sucks. That's a tragedy. Right? But if you go to the dominatrix dungeon, you expect to be humiliated and harmed. So like if it then happens to you, I'm happy for you. You know? 'Cause that's what you wanted. Congratulations. Is there someone in his way? Ow. Your favorite tank's minus 60p. That one. E50M. Uh-oh. I play what would be to get humiliated and hurt. See? There you go. I'm doing this not because I'm suicidal, because I'm better. Because I am of the assumption here, the most likely correct assumption, that 183 will not have the skill to fire in the time it takes me to peek him. Now, I do believe that the... Yes. 4005 is back there. Ow. Just gonna go for the reload here. I have so much microplastics on my balls. Yeah, but see, that's what's probably gonna the next step of human evolution, right? Instead of like a meat sack, newborn babies will be delivered in a plastic bag. Right? They will come out pre-packaged in the plastic bag. Maybe even like a vacuum bag. You know, perfectly conserved and ready to come out. That's probably the next step of human evolution. That we're all gonna be plastic. Plastic child. Alright. I mean, they're already plastic adults, if you look at Hollywood. So... Hi. Bye. Alright. Trying to get around the 183 here. Feel like I'm good at using armor that don't need armor. Well, you do need the armor to use the armor. 60, nice! But the problem is the Sheridan, right? Because if the Sheridan's intelligent, then he's gonna play together with the 183 so that the 183 can't be isolated. Because obviously the 183 is a lot easier to isolate than the Sheridan because the 183 can't really run anywhere. So if the Sheridan is competent, then he would link up with the 183 and basically run like perimeter security for him. Right? Especially because if the Sheridan again is competent, he will know that I'm on very low HP and he can take me out at once, and that I'm the most likely to attack the 183 because I'm obviously the quickest vehicle. And I have the highest mobility, and I can get at him, and there he is. See, that's why I moved away from that position, because I didn't see the 183 for a while. And I was also not aware of the Sheridan for a while. Now I need that Badger to do his thing. Ugh. He didn't do his thing. He did not do his thing. He did not do his thing, Badger. You did not do your thing. Badger. You did not do your thing. Like, all you had to do is drive up that frickin' hill here and shoot the Sheridan. Didn't. Good boy. Corey, don't. Oh. I was about to say, don't get hit with hash. Badger, behind you, you. Behind you! Turn! Turn, Gluck, turn! No. 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 Yeah, now the 183 is just gonna come up behind him and kill him. Goodbye. Have a good one. Sheridan players like to run the map. Yep. I mean, could have won that, but who cares? 9-11. 9-11. Oh, well, that's, oh, well. Yeah, it's, expected there. Oh my god, I did the quest for the... I didn't get a new one. Wait, I'm supposed to get a new one, right? Oh well, off to the Sheridan. Hi, Smile, how you doing? Welcome. I could hate 60 TP, it's super fun. Well, it can be. Hello, Curtis. Yo. I am very alive. However, unfortunately, most likely tomorrow the Polish tank destroyers are gonna get released. Now, I wanted to stream Limo Ultimate tomorrow, but if those damn tank destroyers get released, I'm gonna do that. Gotta at least pretend to still care about the game. You know, just a little bit. Ah, lol, I got through without any effort. Let's go. Nope, that's on me. Alright, heavies. Hold. Hello, Kronwagen. We got heavy tanks, don't we? Oh, come on, take him. Take him! He's... I get a new 10-10 tomorrow. Same. Oh, pff, that was close. Still on vacation. Back at work. I'm on vacation till the end of September. Ha. Basically. Let's see. I did something on Saturday. That no German has dared to do before me. I went to East Germany. I somehow came back alive. So... God damn. Yeah! I mean, I could let him hit me, but I don't want to actually have him hit me. Ah, you... Broski. So Soviet brainwashing is still alive on the east side. Well, the Nazis now, so it kind of worked in reverse. Well, half of them. So, wow. The AFD essentially has the exact same social policies as the NSDAP, but entirely different economic policies. So you can't exactly compare it, but you know, it's about, you know. It's like the, you know, state-run concentration camps and private concentration camps, basically. That's like the main economic difference between the old and the new. The way they were back then and the way they are now. So... Oh! Who's Pingmaster? Look at Pingmaster! Look at Pingmaster! He's a spy! He's a spy. Yeah, it's just a... But yeah. I don't know shit about German politics. I heard the AFD was getting throttled. Probably a reason. Yeah, because they have... and I quote... Some of them called himself the friendly face of the of National Socialism. Another guy said... These are party members. Said that we have enough migrants here that a Holocaust would be worth it again, for example. Another guy, you know, it's the classic, like, calling refugees and migrants, like, all sorts of, you know, like, vermin or trash or dirty, you know, those kind of things, you know, the same thing that Trump does, basically. So... I do want to bring back the Austrian painter guy. Well, here's the thing. The boss of the party, who, by the way, this is a party that's against LGBTQ people, that's against migrants and non-German people, and it's a party that's presents itself as for poor people. So, the head of the party is a lesbian economist living in Switzerland with a Sri Lankan woman. And adopted children. Something that the AFD, by the way, wants to ban. That same-sex couples can adopt children. The AFD doesn't want that. She said that Hitler was a lefty. So... But this is the intellectual level that we're on with that party, basically. And in some parts of East Germany, they're at 50%. Right? So that's where we're at. We have those again now. Well, you had them back then as well. They just weren't relevant. You know, I mean, what's the difference between Nigel Farage and Oswald Mosley, right?
Let's go.
Right? Like, it's the same type of people again and again. It's that type of people that believe that because of what they are, they have more value than others, and that gives them the right to command others. How do I get credits? Buy a premium tank and play battles with credit boosters and a premium account. This is way easier to make people feel than to make people think. Yes, because the human brain is specifically, well, unfortunately, built to have the limbic system, the thing that does emotional regulation, and well, no, it doesn't really regulate. It just feels, is a lot bigger and a lot faster responding than the part of your brain that does rational thinking. Right? It's a lot easier and a lot quicker to feel than to think. Right? And you know, there's this people that don't have good emotional regulation and don't have good emotional awareness, which is gonna be primarily people that didn't have as much, let's say, contact with other people that aren't like themselves, right? Because if you live in a village where there's people that are very much like you, you're not really going to experience anything else. So if you're like 35, if you're 35 and you see a brown guy, you're like, what the... You know? Because you don't know any better, right? Because your fear just takes over, because you don't have... You were never taught how to think about your feelings, right? That's why, like, cities are more progressive than rural areas as well, right? Because the more contact with other people you have, you'll be like, well, they're not that bad. You know, they got the same amount of idiots we do. They got the same amount of nice people we do. Yeah, they're just kind of the same anyway, right? That's... And you'll come together eventually, but obviously if you have never enjoyed the education of emotional intelligence, and if you've never had contact with a lot of people that are different than you, you're eventually going to be scared of whatever the news tell you to be scared of. And the news love telling you to be scared of things because emotion, again, drives everything. Right? Like, that's why shows like Love Island, like, that's why Love Island and like, stuff is incredibly popular, because it gets a lot of emotions out. Nobody's gonna, like, watch, like, tax accountants do their job on TV. Nobody's gonna watch that. I mean, maybe you can, like, put it out at 5 a.m. So, I mean, it is scary to see all the Muslim migrants following Europe. Well, it is so scary that one of them, for example, I just happen to know, is opening in his own barber shop next week. Right? That's so scary. Like, here's a fun fact. What do you do when in nature one thing gets replaced by another thing? You would also say that the thing that got replaced, like for example the red squirrel, is being quickly replaced by the brown squirrel, or the gray squirrel rather. Right? You wouldn't say that, oh, you know, that's abnormal. Just happens if one individual is better suited to a place, they're gonna be there, right? Now, if a guy from Iceland would move to sub-Saharan Africa, he'd be fucking miserable for a couple of years, and then sort of get used to it. So, here's the thing. If you move away from biology and now move into society, you have groups of people that are different, and again, we go back to what I just said like 10 seconds ago. People have contact with people that think differently than themselves and are differently than themselves, and then they respect each other. They're eventually going to mold into something better, hopefully. Right? However, for example, in Germany, if you have refugees and you put those refugees into a container somewhere, right? If you put those people into a container somewhere and you don't allow them to integrate, well, rather you don't force them to integrate, which is how it kind of does work, then obviously they're going to like build parallel societies because they're kind of forced to, because they have to. You know? When I was like 3, I met someone like Duffy, or my neighbors asked me my photo like was, so like, so I remember that moment. Yeah, because that's the thing, children don't have a filter. If you ask a child, about that, you know, then most, like, societal hate is taught, right? It's taught to people. It's not, you know, human emotions are entirely natural, but things like hating someone of a different skin color, it's basically just like taking human anger and directing it in a point where it doesn't belong. But in the Quran, they believe in taking over a country and forcing everyone to be Muslim and therefore removing most people's rights. Just like Republicans believe that in the US and wanted to establish a Christian theocracy. Right? Just, I mean, if you look at Israel, what's happening there, if you look at India's treatment of Muslims, for example, then you can see that it's not a one religion problem, it's always a people problem. You know, and 500 years ago in Central Europe, if I would be sitting right now where I am, and I would say, well, God's not cool, I would probably be burned or hanged or something like that. Right? Here. So, you know, religion is always just a vessel of what people want to do. Right? And... uh-oh. It's like... uh-oh. I mean, it's probably... it's less than 200 years ago that there were human zoos in Europe. Right? In the country of Jordan, in the Middle East, women could vote 3 years earlier than in Switzerland. Right? So, it's not necessarily a question of what religion do they believe in, it's more of a question of what state of human are they in, right? Because, I mean, the only difference between American Republicans and the Taliban is the Republicans' inability to grow proper beards. Other than that, their ideology is the same. Obviously, there are semantic differences, you know, it's like the same way as there will be differences within languages. But their key goal and their key idea is the same. Their key idea is always, we're better than you, that's why we are allowed to tell you what you have to do, and if you don't follow it, then you're dead, but if we don't follow it, it doesn't matter because we're better. Remember? That's it. That's the base problem. Didn't think anything about it at the time. I think just like when I was 5, I was playing well. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But yeah, it's like if you're not exposed to people of different ideas and different cultures, then you're never gonna... and if you're unwilling to learn about it, then you'll never understand what's going on, you know? It's like... you know, I mean, let's say during the, uh-oh. After, like, 1092, when you had all them holy wars, we sure know which religion was the problem in that time. And now it simply happens to be a different religion that causes the most problems. And eventually, that's gonna lose its appeal, that's gonna lose interest, and it's gonna be a different one. You know, it's like... Alright. There's always just a You know, there's a different asshole of the week. You know, like in 1100, I think there were plenty of people that were like, guys, maybe we shouldn't like invade Jerusalem. Maybe not, please. Right? So, even though they then were probably burned for witchcraft or something, I don't know. So, like, like there is no better display of human inferiority than the belief of superiority. Which, if we go off a little, for the philosopher Hegel, he basically defined evil as the good that believes itself to be the absolute good. It's like people that believe that whatever they do is always good, they're evil. It's not perfect, it's not a great definition, but it's sort of getting there. You know? Like, philosophy is basically what happens when you combine drugs and boredom with smart people. Like, if you combine drugs and boredom with dumb people, you get bar fights. But if you combine drugs, boredom with smart people, you get philosophy. Slavic paganism is obviously true. Introspection is hard. Yeah, it's like confronting yourself with your own inabilities is not fun, I suppose. So you'd just rather blame somebody else. It's the same. Like if you look at Blitz, that HE didn't pen because of RNG, not because I can't aim or anything of that sort, you know, or I'm terrible. What the hell? A Christian, so very confusing to see other Christians act hateful. Just wasn't say he is one that's when they are stone woman for adultery. Yeah, but you remember that most Christians don't care about Jesus; they care about feeling superior. Like like religion is just a tool of self-validation in a certain degree. Right, where if you don't believe in yourself, like you haven't but you don't believe in yourself, so you invent a, you know, imaginary friend to feel better about yourself, right? However, that third-party validation can also be used against other people. Like imagine this, right? Imagine this. I tell you that you have to give me all your money. And you're like, you're just a guy. Why would I give you all my money? What the hell? That's stupid. However, if I use the trick of third-party validation, I say to you, listen, I'm gonna wear like a little black robe. I'm gonna like wear a black robe and like something that looks official, right? I'm gonna be a man in a dress complaining about dress codes and about masculinity, but anyway, that's a different story. So, I'll be a man wearing a dress, black dress ideally, and I will be telling you, listen, I need you to give me all your money, because if you give me all your money, then you will be absolved of all your sins and you will go to heaven, right? And you will live forever in the kingdom of heaven and you will be happy for the rest of your life. And you're like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Here's all my money. Boom. It's the same with, like, basically religion is like the Amazon most popular of psychology, right? Right, when you look on Amazon and it says like most popular, it's like, oh, other people are buying that. Other people think this is a good thing. Right? So I'm gonna buy into that too. It's like that third-party validation. You know? Because there is something else that you don't have access to. You know, like, you don't have access to the Amazon algorithm that decides what's most popular and what isn't, just how you don't have access to God at all. You know, I can decide what God wants me to do because I control what God does because I invented him. Basically. So, with that, you can do a lot of good for people, but you can also cause a lot of harm for people, you know? Because you can use that for you can use that for positive validation, or you can use it for negative validation. Right? You can use it for good, you can use it for evil. It doesn't really have a... Like, religion itself doesn't have a positive or negative outcome. It just happens to be used negatively a lot more often than it isn't. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Fucking hell. Like, the mere idea of believing something that's not true isn't a bad thing. It just happens to become bad when believing something that's not true is elevated above acknowledging something that is true. Right? Like, if you go... If I say the sun is... If I say I believe the sun is blue... You know, like, you can believe anything you want, as long as you don't push it on other people, and as long as nobody can prove that what you're saying is wrong. Because somebody can prove that what you're saying is wrong, then it's wrong. And at that point, it's no longer belief, it's a lie. Just like that, you confuse the game with those big mega churches. It's like, Christianity is in fact like that, but it was during the medieval times. They just, those televangelists just took what Catholics did 500 years ago and reinvented it. So, it's in fact one of the reasons why the schism happened. Is that the right word? I think it is. Basically because the Catholic Church was selling, like... I don't know what the English word for it, like the English term for it is, but basically they were selling, like, letters of absolution. Right? Like, you could buy a letter that said, your sins are forgiven, you're going to heaven. Right? That was a thing that happened, and the televangelists really just picked that up and developed it further, basically. Which is kind of hilarious, because the televangelists come from an evangelical part of Christianity, which is, if you go back to Protestantism and Luther, is like supposedly getting away from that. So, yeah, basically it's all about money and power, and it's just a tool. That's it. So, let's make a compact on that. You lie, and I'll swear it's true. But you have to wear the black dress. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Indulgences. Alright, there you go. Do it right. I mean, I don't know if it's Ukrainian. Like, that's the thing. Whenever I in Counter-Strike, what I do in Counter-Strike is whenever someone writes something in Cyrillic that I don't understand, of course, what it means, I just reply Slava Ukraini, because if they're Ukrainian and they're mad, they're like, okay, cool, and they might not be mad anymore. But if they're Russian, they'll either be cool because they're part of the Russians that are cool. Or they'll be not cool with it because they're bootlickers of you-know-who. And then they're going to be even more mad, which is really funny. So you don't lose. Alright. And because I don't live in a school or a kindergarten, I also have... there is also zero threat of Russia ever hitting me. So... Yeah, only the bad Christians right now are the most famous. There's a tiny minority of Christians. Well, I mean, especially if you look at American Christianity, that's just fucked up. That's just fucked up. Or if you look at also a lot of African Christianity, well, African generalism, pretty screwed up through a lot of sort of put-in beliefs, right? Because when the colonizers came and they brought Christianity, they also brought Christian hate with that. So, there is no hate like Christian love is what they say, but hey. It's always that, you know, it's like the more emotion, especially into politics, the more emotion you bring into politics, the worse it gets automatically. Like, it just... And religion is essentially the purest form of human self-emotion. It's like, hey, I've invented a whole nother world to cope with my feelings. Can Africa long before Europe? Yes. There were, but I'm not talking about those. There also were Jews in Ethiopia, but now they're not there anymore. Oops. But then they went to Israel, and then Israel sterilized the women against their will because they didn't want them to reproduce, but that's a whole different story. They all have their own god, of course. That's why the only god I pray to is me. And the great thing is, by praying to myself, I have a lot higher chance of the things I want actually happening than if I would have prayed to any other god, right? Here's a great one as well. It's like, if you pray and you want something to happen, let's say you want a new bicycle, and you pray for a new bicycle. You pray the entire time, you want a new bicycle, you want a new bicycle. But you don't get it. You never get a bicycle. What do you do instead? Well, here's how you do it. You steal a bicycle, and you pray for forgiveness for stealing. Now you have a bicycle. And God forgives everyone. So now you got a bicycle. And it's still good. Alright, uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. 2 heavies camping. Well, that's nothing. There could be like 5 heavies camping as well. Don't worry. Could be many more heavies camping. Played PUBG back in the day. What do you mean? What back in the day? How back in the day are we talking? I played PUBG back in the day as well, but that was like 2018. What's that? Go to WhatsApp. Oh, jeez. Alright, and again, assume this, if the universe is pre-planned, right, if everything's already decided by a divine plan, then what the fuck do you pray for? Everything's already, like, everything's already decided. You know, and you can't change the plan. Anyway, if it isn't decided, if it is based on random chance and luck, which it is, you can't do anything about it anyway. When I pray, I get all the stuff I want. I ask not to feel lonely. 5 minutes later, like 3 different people texted me. Phone. I ask not to feel sad. Yep. Exactly. Basically, like, again, like if you want to feel better, then you can. Christians believe that God knows what will happen, that gives us a free choice. So that means that anybody can choose not to believe it, and we'll be fine anyway. So why would I waste my time going to church on Sunday if I have free will anyway? Fuck 'em. I can just repent 5 seconds before I die, and I'll get to heaven anyway. Like, Nice. What was that from? I think it was Family Guy, right? Where we did that skit with Osama bin Laden, where like he gets his compound raided, and like he raises his hands up and he's like, "Oh, I repent all my sins," and then boom, he's in heaven. Something like that. Something like that. So. So, I mean, we can be sure that Seth MacFarlane's going to hell, I suppose. Alright. Alright, baboon. Have a good one. Thank you for joining. Christians believe that God knows what will happen, but yeah, but that's some of them. You know, if you ask 10 different religious people, you get 10 different answers. Right? Because again, it's a free-for-all buffet of self-validation. Alright, and obviously, any random act that happens to happen will be further validation of that. And any random act that doesn't happen will just be, oh well, ignore it. Also called confirmation bias, right? If you believe something to be true, like, let's say, you believe that aliens exist, then anything that could indicate the existence of aliens will be true. But anything that doesn't indicate the existence of aliens is like, whatever. Hey, follow somebody the most time. Yes, and the 3 topics you should avoid if you try to get laid, basically. Can something come from nothing? Well, let me invert the question. Can something turn into nothing? Yes. If you have a positron and an electron, and you smash them together, they disappear and turn into pure energy. So when something can become nothing, the inverse can be true as well. And here's the other error with that argument, is that you would have to assume that you have a reduction of complexity every step of the way. Like, you go from humans, you go to bacteria, you go to chemistry, you go into physics. You have like every step, it gets less alive. It gets less alive and less complex. But all of a sudden, for some magical reason, at the end of this chain of forever reduction in complexity, there's supposedly an individual once again. You can't make something into nothing. Well, yeah, you can convert something into energy, but you can't destroy or create energy, right? So... Oh, but who made the energy? Well, if you ask that, you're still at the same problem either way. Right? Because if energy can't be created or destroyed, then what the hell do you need a divine creature for? If energy's just around. Uh-oh. Ah, you missed. Alright. It's like, basically, if you replace in any argument of, you know, the creation of the universe, if you replace God with universe, you're still at the exact same point either way. Right? Because if, like, all you're doing is you're abstracting your question one step further. Right? If you don't know how the universe was made, then you just say, okay, We don't know how the universe was made, so God made the universe, and we don't know how God was made. Or you can just claim that, oh, he was there the entire time. At which point, you can simply ignore God and just say the universe has been there the entire time, and the Big Bang was just a reset that we just can't get through before, you know. So it's essentially just like one further step of, oh, I don't know how that works. So I'm just gonna claim that the thing I don't know how it works was created by something that I also don't know how it works, but that I can invent anything I want into. Right? It's like, ugh. You know, like if any theological argument, if you just replace God with the universe, you'll end at the same point, which is like, I don't know. Have you seen the light of BTC yet? In Bitcoin? That's what I think. When I hear BTC, energy fused up in the explosion, leaves heat energy and probably nuclear energy behind. You can't make something and then nothing. There's any, yeah. But you can basically convert a, you know, electron and a positron into energy. So you can sort of turn a thing into not a thing, unless you assume energy to be the ultimate thing, then it's still a thing, and then everything's energy, and who cares? We're all fucked. And glass is a slow-moving liquid. Yeah, it's also sand. If you look at, like, really old buildings, like, really old churches and stuff that have glass windows, and you measure the glass, it's, like, thicker at the bottom than at the top. Paying attention, these mosquitoes are eating me alive. Well. Oh. The mosquitoes are part of a divine plan to test you. Oh, I gotta be careful. Well, it's not exactly liquid, but it does deform very slowly over time. So, Hey, what's that metal called? Was it gallium that, like, liquefies at room temperature? Yeah, it's like... Uh-oh. There's a lot of wacky stuff in the world, and it's basically works like that anything that can happen with enough time will have the possibility of happening. Right? It's like, if you have, let's say, life is somewhat complex, incredibly complex, but simple life is a lot less complex than complex life, of course. Like, a single-celled bacteria is a lot easier to accidentally make than a human. Right? And that's how that whole process worked. Right? Like, you have the easiest thing that's made by accident, and that turns into something a little bit more complex and blah, 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 blah. So, you think there will be another comp season? I don't know. I don't know anything about Blitz tournaments. I did play them for a while, but I play on PC, so I'm excluded from tournaments, from Pro Tour, so I just don't bother. Yeah, how's it going? Welcome. It's kind of my favorite medal. It is cool, yeah. It is cool. Could you imagine that everything we have, most likely, was the base building blocks were created inside of a star? Right? Ain't that cool? That is really cool. No, glass is not a liquid, it's a metaphor solid, which means a type of solid with molecules arranged in a jumbled non-crystalline structure. 5 pounds. Yeah, that's... By the way, highly recommended, Veritasium. Veritasium. They made a video about rubber. Highly recommend watching that. Basically, natural rubber is kind of special. We still can't make it at home because it won't be as good. Because that rubber tree got some magic up its sleeve. Yay, let's go. Remember first bonus. Nope. PC players can chrono. Oh, that's oh, that means Blitz is that means Blitz is doing really badly then. If Wargaming allows PC players to participate in tournaments, that means that the tournament scene and Blitz is struggling. Jesus. But no, I will not be playing tournaments because I don't think that. I know how it was back then. It's like 2018 to 2021, really, when I was playing tournaments a lot. And we had a pretty solid team. Obviously, sometimes it was a pain to organize enough players. It was a pain to, like, schedule everything. And the strategies and everything you had to make, and the training battles and everything, that was a lot of effort. And the fact that there's like one tournament a year where you can get some decent-ish prize money makes it not worth it. So I would not be participating in a Blitz tournament scene again. So yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I think like World of Tanks PC, the Blitz amateur the Blitz amateur tournament scene is somewhat not well managed, because I see a couple of the streams sometimes. I mean, I don't really watch them, but I see a couple of the streams sometimes, and the tournaments have like 30, 40 viewers. You know. And then the big tournaments on the Wargaming channel, there's always giveaways there, right? There's always giveaways there, so you'll, like, just... I would assume that, let's be generous, you know, like the 70 or more % of people are just there for the rewards. Synthetic rubber was one of the best inventions of all time. Absolutely. But again, a lot of inventions, a lot of human inventions were just accidents as well. You know, just randomly happened. You know. That's how evolution works. Right? That is basically everything is an accident. Unless it's useful. This is stuff for 2 years. Fluid dynamics. I don't know wrong with that. I'm a member of the American Fluid Powers. Is that a thing? Okay, that's funny. American. Allow me to comment. That does sound like a cover name for a club of alcoholics. Great band name, maybe. But it's like, I imagine it to be like a group of really enthusiastic wine testers. Uh-oh. Yeah, we lose. Alright. We're doing tournaments for mid-last year, my team we made top 16. Oh, nice. That's cool. Congrats. Congratulations. I mean, I wouldn't know. Most of the guys I played with don't play Blitz anymore. I know of at least 5 of them that don't play Blitz anymore. Right? Well, 13 was one of them, for example. Like, the guy that's here on Friday streams, he was one of them. He doesn't play Blitz anymore. I would assume that, like, the strategies we ran back then, don't work anymore. So, yeah. Tournaments you learn more than pubs. Well, you learn how to play tournaments, but you don't learn how to play regular battles. Because regular battles and tournaments is really different. Because in a tournament, you work with your team. But in a regular, you work off your team. Right? Because in a tournament, like, you know the movements of the other players because you talked about it previously, right? However, if you're in a random battles, you have no idea what they're going to do, right? So you have to be a lot quicker at reacting to what they're doing. In a lot of cases, in tournaments, enemy teams are more coordinated as well, right? So you will know what the enemy was doing if you spot 2 or 3 of them, right? You will know what they're doing. But if you spot 2 or 3 people in a random battle, you will have no idea what the rest are doing because they're random. They don't follow any strategy or tactic, right? So it's very different to be good in tournaments and to be good in random battles, because in tournaments you need the team play a lot more. Like you need to work together, but in a random battle, you don't work together. You work essentially off your team, right? You understand, okay, where are they doing? What are they? Where are they going? And then you adapt to what they're doing and how they're doing it, and the enemy team as well, what they're doing and how they're doing it, right? So while you can obviously learn a lot about coordination in tournaments, you don't learn. You don't learn the random chaos. That's a lot more present in random battles than in tournaments, right? Tournaments are a lot more structured, and especially Supremacy. I don't like Supremacy. That's another reason I don't play tournaments, because I don't like Supremacy. So, you know, if you see one base being taken or 2 bases being taken, you know what's going on. You know, you roughly know what the strategy is going to be. At least that's what it was when I was playing. You know, like, you sort of knew, okay. Obviously, you can see what tanks they're using when you go into battle as well. So, once then you'll sort of... You already know what they're going to do and where they're going to go, roughly, right? Because you know those things yourself. You've trained against them. You've done that. So, you know what's going on. And in a random battle, like, let's say... you do a tournament battle, and you're on this map, right? And you see, I don't know, you see 2 mouses, for example. You can, in a lot of cases, you can guess what's gonna happen with those 2 mouses and where they're gonna go, because they're gonna most likely sit in the middle, or they're gonna push over the bridges to take control and basically block the enemy team off the enemy base that's on that side, right? And then have a couple of other guys run up the hill. It works better from this side because you have the cover, right? You'll have 777s or, you know, fast heavies run up the hill to control that from the side, so you can basically like have cover over that cap circle over there. You try to fight for the A cap circle at the top with your fast heavies, right? Ideally, like a 777, it does have the gun depression, you know, so you can run up there, like do this basically. You have your mouses block this, and if you fancy, you get one light tank that can run around the battlefield. But if the enemy just try to go for the decap, you know, you focus on those other two. But you know, because like one cap circle's here, and the other one's over there. So if you're on this side, right, you go take this one, you run up, you hold that. You have, if you have a mouse or if you do use that strategy, you have them push over here, and then basically they can control this circle. If they have mediums on this side, right, you have to put the mouses on the other side over there, so they can take control of this cap circle, right? It's like, it's basically just like dance around the hole. At least that's how it was then, you know, because I sort of faintly remember. My experience having one good support teammate often means a dub, yeah. You push one person and the entire team comes out. Tournaments are just focus one guy, you win. Yeah, like you all shoot at the same guy. Of course, focus fire. That's another thing that you do in tournaments that you don't do in regular battles as well. Where you like focus fire one guy. That's why if you're on a map like this, you want to, if you've got two mouses out, you know, you do that. The best strategy is always the one that punches hard, but is not known where. Right? Because if you can eliminate two enemy guns, that's the most important thing. Like, take out guns on the enemy team. Because I would not play the same way in a tournament that I would play at randoms, right? Because I'm not gonna try to hunt down, like, low HP tanks and stuff like that in randoms. I'm just going for fuck you damage, right? So... But in a tournament, you want to take out as many guns as possible. And because if you're in a 7 versus 5 advantage, that's it. Or, you know, you rush cap circles, you sit on the cap circles. You ideally are on the side that has the quicker access to the cap circle, and then you camp the cap circle, and then the enemy has to push you. And if you run that strategy, you just take defensive heavies that are hard to pin, and have fun with that. And then you try to run it out till the cap goes all the way, because a lot of tournament battles, I don't know how the tournaments are now, because I don't watch them, but a lot of tournaments a couple of years ago was pretty much rush the cap circle, wait till the points are at 800, and then rush. That was a lot of the battles. I don't know if they're still like that. I mean, you could probably report on that deadlock if that's still the case, but a lot of times it was just take the cap circles. If you have the advantage, of course, like if you rush the cap circles and you're ahead by more than 10 points, you just sit it out, right? You defend. And if you're behind, you gotta rush. And then you wait for 2 minutes for the time to tick up to be like 800, then you go. Taking 5 AMX MLEs for striving to you. Why do people use those things in tournaments? That doesn't make sense. I know acting like you don't need to repair in regular games on an A. You just killed getting positions and not getting shot at. Regular NA is nothing like comp. Yeah, NA is just hell. So you do always in regular battles you always want to run 2 repair kits. You want to run the repair kits. You know the million HP. Well, it's just too big though. It's just too damn big. It's just too dang big. It's just too damn big. Well, the size does have one advantage. It can shoot down into the tops of some tanks. Like if you have a Object 777 or something like that, then you know, you can shoot sort of down into it. And you have the side plates on the AMX, so you can pen those, so... The AMX would be counterable by simply having a heavy with higher DPM. However, it has 460 alpha? Yes. Which is a good thing, because you can trade favorably, right? Like, say you put up an E5 against the AMX, the E5 is going to have massive advantages in terms of its size, its armor, and its DPM as well. But the AMX has more alpha damage. So if you peak one-on-one, the AMX is going to win out. Because every shot that it takes is going to be slightly more effective than every shot the E5 takes. God damn. 450. Wargaming's changing everything. Wargaming's changing everything. With the reactive armor, they might use mouse HP. Well, yeah. The gun's not good, though. The gun on the MLE is not good, though. Polarize 7 more HP. No, it's not. So... Size 7 is actual armor.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Like, if you have an ammo... See, I don't know at this point, but you take 2 mouses, right? And you slap those 2 mouses into the MLE charge, right? So, let's say you have 5 MLEs. They're trying to charge the mouses are going to die. But what you do, MLE, low DPM, massive target. If a mouse phase hugs an MLE and just wiggles the turret, what are you going to do about it? Obviously, you're going to have other guys come around the side. So, what do you get is you get yourself loaded up on something like an E50M or even an AMX50B and have fun. That obviously only works if you're the guy that has the cap advantage. So, like, you never want to counter a push by pushing into them. You always want to counter a push by going around them. And with something as massive as an AMX and something as weakly armored as an AMX on the sides, you go around it. Right? I would just... Here's a fun thing. 2 mouses, 4 57 heavies, and a... maybe Sheridan to take cap circles. So... or a Leopard, rather. More DPM, better vehicle. So... you get yourself the cap advantage. And then, when they try to push, you've got 4 57s ready. That's like 3 dead tanks. And then in the 20 seconds they reload, you got your 2 mouses sitting on the cap circle. They won't die in 20 seconds. And you got another barrage of 57 heavy. Something like that. I don't play tournaments anymore. I don't know if it would work, but that's what I would try to do based on what we did back then. Right? Basically, always go for the backside. 2 or 3 50Ms, 2 or 3 MLEs, and 2 and 5B for DPM. Alright, interesting. Interesting. I would never use a 2 and 5B. But if you have a good player in the 2 and 5B, then that's probably, if you got that setup, you probably want the 2 and 5B to be like your heavy, basically. Like that player that doesn't think much, but just kills everybody. You know, the guy that doesn't do the strategy, but the guy that does all the killing. You want that guy in the 2 and 5B. Winning team gets 10k. So, 9 players. A little bit over $1,000 for a year's work. Hey, it's a nice bonus check. It's a nice Christmas gift, sort of. So not bad. Being rated top 10 or 8 or 4 on the server. 4 times a year. Is it? I think the 50k is only once a year, no? The 50k is only once a year, no? So. Well, you don't get 10k, you get 1.1k. So, it's time. 2k is only once. Yeah. So it's like $1,000, which is. By the way, guys, in a real esport, in a professional esport, for example, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, some players get salaries of 100,000 a month. Right? There are players in Counter-Strike that are paid 100,000 in salary a month. So 1,000 a year. 1,111. To be exactly precise. Almost. Like Smile said. It's really nothing compared to that. Blitz doesn't have pro players, it has dedicated amateur players. Now, don't say that to sort of devalue it or whatever. Say that because that is the simple truth. So, 100k to collect a mouse and keyboard while teaching. Yeah, but that's the salary. That doesn't include the tournament winnings and the bonuses from majors. So it's more. Even though most professional CSGO players don't make that, I think... I'm guessing like the guys on Vitality are probably paid like 20, 30k a month. Right? Just the 100k happens just to be Saudi Arabian oil money. So majority of players don't make that, but... You know, probably the top 10 teams, they're getting... the players of the top 10 teams, they're making 10k or more a month. Not including tournament winnings or anything like that. So... Who gets... No, you get the cents as well. You get 11 cents as well. You don't get that. That €1 gets spread... Uh-oh. We have the Swedish voice lines. Well, if you change your game language to Swedish, which I have done a couple of years ago, I think that was 2022 or something. If you change your game language to Swedish, then you can have Swedish crew lines already. So they have been in the game since a very long time. Probably since the beginning, because I would assume the Swedish translation of the game has also been there since the beginning, so... Now that 1 cent gets donated to children in Africa. So... Uh-oh. Oh, it's just lazy. Yes! Well, here's why. Because crew lines don't make money. See? Same with maps. Maps don't make money. So, the priority in any business that wants to exist for a very long time is that you eliminate things that don't make money and you expand things that do make money. Right? Because you don't make any money with maps unless you sell them as a DLC. That's why sim racing games often sell tracks as DLCs, right? Because that's how they make extra money. Like, they make a new track, and then you pay, you buy it for like €8 per track, and that's how they make money. Right? But That doesn't make sense in Blitz, because they can just sell the tanks. So a map is a lot more work than a tank. So I'm assuming, like, this is just an assumption, right? So don't take this for anything valid. But let's assume that you can make 8 tanks for 1 map. A map has a return money of 0. 8 tanks off 1 whale, right? That's 200. That's 1,600 euros if they run it out to the maximum, all the charms, right? Let's say it's 1,000 euros. 8 tanks is 1,000 euros per whale in the crates. That's a lot. That's a... What is that? What is that? My friend. What is that? Wasn't Vale, like, at some point a really good tournament clan? I don't know. I just remember, like, Legion and stuff. I tried Polish titties. No, I didn't even know they were coming out. Well, I did. I did know, but I forgot again. And yesterday when the video came out, I remembered again that they were coming out. So I've survived way too many times with Sheridan. Look at that. What's happening? But yeah, how you doing, Calestra? That's a Discord mod. Okay, lol. Looks like it. To me. No, I think I'd spend money on the 104 SP. Don't spend money on the 104 SP. Allow me the reference, Deadlock. Ah, Oak. Sorry. Wrong person. Allow me the reference, Oak. If you spend money on everything that looks cool, you'll be broke, sad, and divorced. Remember that. If you go by looks, you end up broke. Yeah, the 11603. Yeah, pretty much. Like, none of the Chinese tier 9 and tier 10 premiums are worth it, really. We broke, but not divorced because I'm not getting married. Yeah, valid. I mean, the only point to marry really is for tax reasons. Right. That's the main point. Otherwise, it doesn't really... Like... Already learned that lesson the hard way, RL. Exactly, so don't buy the 114 SP. If you spent money on a tank, make sure it's worth it. And if you spent money on a interest, then make sure it's worth it as well. Alright. Fucking hell. Yeah, whatever. Gonna walk dog. Well, I'll be off in half an hour. Wait, do you ever reinstall Windows after a while? Well, it's been 3 years, and I will be doing that at the end of September. So, hi Joe. Gee. I will be doing that at the end of September, where I'm gonna... Basically, I'm gonna save all the data that I have. I mean, I have a NAS anyway, so it's gonna get saved to that. I'm gonna save all the data, I'm gonna back up all the data, and I'm gonna delete everything. Right, I'm gonna reset it completely to 0. Every program, everything, gone. Right, obviously I'm gonna save the settings and stuff. I'm gonna reinstall everything. And obviously I'm only gonna reinstall what I actually use. My only hobby that I spend money on my photography. That's what I spent my money on too. What camera you got? What you got? All right. Let's get fucked up a couple of you still. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna do it for cleanliness reasons, because there's probably so many programs on this computer that I never need, right? And it's taking up space, and there's so many cached files that I don't need, and I have 10 terabytes of storage in this computer, right? And I don't plan on replacing that until a drive fails. So I'm just gonna want to clean that out a little bit. Now, for fuck's sake. Because I have backups I have double backups of everything. Right, so I'm just gonna run these SSDs till they fail, and then I'm gonna replace them. Like, buy something good, and then run it down till the end, basically. Great. I'm definitely not trying to die on purpose here. Definitely not. I can only use my phone camera if they want to. Gonna handle. I want to hassle. Putting the measuring stick pretty high there. I did see today. I don't know if it was today, but they released a new Hasselblad released a new camera for $7,400. I didn't find a euro price, but it's probably a lot more than that. So, yo, Hasselblad is up there. It's like Leica, but they're actually worth it. If anybody has a Leica, then you know what you're doing. You know, like, Leica is like, they're not better, but you can say that you have a Leica, so you get a Leica. Thunderbird is not gonna fail in the next 10 years. Well, it's not that. So I have 10 terabytes in my computer, which is spread up in 5 SSDs. Right, it's 4 NVMEs and 1 SATA SSD. Right, 2, 2, 4, 1, and 1 terabytes. 4 NVMEs, 1 SATA. The SATA is my scratch drive, like where any like recordings and stuff and everything that's like high data throughput goes on that SATA SSD. It's my scratch drive, pretty much. And then I have a NAS with two 10 terabyte plates in it. Now those 2 10 terabyte plates, they are like industry refurbished data center drives. I don't know how old they are, but they are refurbished data center drives. They're loud as fuck, but luckily they're all the way over there, so can't hear it. But I do hope they last for a very long time as well. Got 2 of them, redundancy, boom. And then I got another big. It's all the way down there. Big hard drive where everything's backed up again. It's just at the it's at the bottom of the drawer. I'm not getting that out. Like I just do that every 3 months or something. I put it back on there because it takes ages. Takes ages. There's a program called Free File Sync that does that. Right, like you determine your starting drive, your final drive, and then you put in your parameters, and then free file sync. It's gonna compare. You can like even select whether it's gonna compare by just the file name or even the metadata of the file, like the size and the modified date and stuff like that, so you can like copy it. And then free file sync is basically gonna check all the files that are on your starting drive. It's gonna read your target drive, every file that's on there, and that's the way it's supposed to be, stays that way, and everything that's not on there gets copied over. Great tool, it's free, absolutely worth it. Got a lot of the great tools like that, which are absolutely awesome. Jesus. I mean, I don't have an old version of Pro Tools, but I do have Audacity, which is free. So that'll do if I need it. Which is rarely. Which is very rarely. Alright. Uh-oh. What are you doing, mate? You're dead. Well, actually, you're not. 1,000? That's a scam. That's a scam. Just 1,000. I don't like that. A camera phone, but those phones have to be imported. I would love a Xiaomi 15 Ultra that so installed here. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. The only reason you'd want to play the 1-3 is the cost suffering it to you or someone else. Yes, basically. It's like the 183 is like the Puritan of tanks. You know, like, I mean the religious group, right? Because Puritanism can be summed up, and I didn't invent this, this is a quote, I don't know who said it, but it's the fear that someone, somewhere could be happy. And that's what the 183 is as well. That is what the 183 is as well. Alright. Now, if I die in the 183, we will do the M2 Lite. Almost 3 hours now. Yeah, that's 3 hours is the regular stream time, basically. That's what I mostly do. Now they shot the hell. Well, I did do almost nothing today. I did do a lot yesterday. I mean, I drilled a couple of holes in the ceiling. For a very good reason. The problem is the screws were too long. And, you know, instead of, like a normal person, buying the appropriate size screw, what I did is I got the screws through the ceiling, right? I checked where they came out in the ceiling, right, at the top. Then I unscrewed them, so I knew where the holes were. And then I put a wood board on top of it, right? And then I screwed them back in, so they're now sticking in the wood board instead of sticking out of the ceiling. So, yeah. Uh-oh. That was funny. That was German. What? What do you mean average German? So what's your job? But that's not a job. Well, that is technically for work, but not that way. Ah, fuck. There we go. Basically, if it tells you anything, the screwing I did was to, uh-oh. Oh, what the hell? Well, I'm dead. Basically, the screwing I did was to mount a large colored roll of paper on the ceiling. So, I'm still here. Well, game. It wasn't the poster, no. I mean, you wouldn't hang a poster like... You wouldn't hang a poster straight down in the middle of a room. Well, 3/4 end of a room. Okay, flag on ceiling using screws. No, not like that. No, no. No, 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 not like that. Alright, we can get a match here. Well, basically, it's a single color, 10 meter sheet of like background paper, right? Now the problem was, I have 3 of them, and because I'm dumb, I bought like the cheaper ones. The problem is, some of them are 2.60 m. Some are 2.60 m, some are 2.72 m. So I had to like cut off 12 centimeters. I had to cut off 12 centimeters on one side to make it fit as well. It's kind of funny. I still have that. Like basically I have a roll of paper that's 12 centimeters wide and 10 meters long now. Because I just like, you know, I put the screw holes like 2.60 m apart, right? So I can hang it. But one of the paper rolls was 2.72 m, so I had to cut off the part of it, which is kind of funny. 12 centimeters is huge. Nah, not really. Not really. Could be better. I mean, as well as like, it's more about how you use it than what you have. Right? And girth also has a lot of importance. Right? Because if you got like a tiny stick like this, you know, you're not going anywhere. Right? So you want the girth going as well. I said, yeah, YouTube said internal error counter. Oh, that's funny. Oh, look, I just got an email from a service I haven't used in 2 years. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just had an incoming call from the Netherlands. Yeah. Okay. I hope they leave a message. Curious. Gee. Don't think we're gonna get one this week. We got one last week, but unfortunately we're not gonna get one today, I guess. What if I have 3? Well, that's unfortunate. You might be Elon Musk. Are you? If you got 3. Why ain't the nether flat? I don't know. Alright. Maybe they want you to print a gay flag. So I do have, I mean, while we're at it, we do have something. Something to show while we're at it. That I have done this week. It's that. Or even that. It's kind of funny because there were like 3 or 4 of them that all locked up on the same lap. I missed 2 of them, I think. And we got this dude. He's not on fire, that's just the exhaust. Or we got this one as well, which is, I think that's a really good one. Anyway. Yeah, like I think this one works really nice because you've got the like people here. Kind of boring up here, but you know what are you gonna do? But you have the like dude that went off in the gravel. Kind of funny. All right. I mean, I did go from 7K images down to like 2K now that are good, that are usable. Now why? Okay, I can answer why did I have 7,000 images? Well, here's the thing. The R8 has a H+ mode, right, where it shoots in electronic 40 frames a second. Now, the thing is, if you shoot with low shutter speed, like 1/80th, 1/100th, and you track shots, you don't get any rolling shutter, right, with the electronic shutter, because you're tracking them. But if you have like 1/2000th of the second and you want to freeze it, you get rolling shutter. So the car is like bent. So when I was like doing tracking shots and stationary shots, I switched between electronic shutter and regular shutter, like electronic first curtain. Now the electronic first curtain has 6 frames a second in H+, and it only has 3 in H. So I was in H+. The problem was, whenever I switched back, I sometimes forgot to change the electronic shutter mode. So I had about 600 pictures of the same car that were all blurry. Because I just didn't. Basically, because the racetrack, okay, it goes like this. Right, you start here, and then it goes down the hill, then it goes around. Right, then it goes like, goes down the hill, it goes around, it goes up the hill, it goes up the hill, and then it goes down the hill back on the other side. Right, so if you stand in the right spot, you can shoot this way, and you turn around, 15 seconds later, you can do the same one coming down the hill on the other side. And when I was switching between shutter modes, I would never switch between the speed modes. So yeah, that was funny. Have a good one. You're missing the best battle though. JQ, nah, don't. Yeah. But, luckily, AI exists, so... all the cars, because the scrutineering is all done by the same company. So I could just be like, if this is readable, keep it, otherwise eliminate it. That was quite useful. That is quite useful. Took like 3 hours to sort through them all, but it worked. It worked. Which is nice. That's the rainbow colored, of course. Alright. See, I don't know why... why homophobes are allowed to see. Like, why do they use their eyes, right? Because light is, if you run it through a prism, you know, white light is just all the colors. So light is gay. Because it's got all the colors of the rainbow, and the rainbow's gay, so that the light's gay. Right? So I don't know why don't they blind themselves? When they don't want to, like... Deep thoughts with the deep. Actually, I'm not the deep. I don't have gills. Alright. It's a Hetzer. Why would you call it any other thing than Hetzer? It's already a cool name. Sort of. No, no. Yes, I know. What be Joe? I know. I made What be Joe touch grass. I know. That's my greatest achievement in Blitz. You know, it's not any battles or tournaments or tanks. I have made What be Joe. I've personally supervised them touching grass. That's my biggest achievement in Blitz. It's kind of weird that Wargaming never did Gamescom thing again. You know, like, I was at Gamescom in 2023. Wargaming invited me there, which was amazing. I mean, hell yeah. So, I mean, no, Wargaming can be an amazing company if they want to. They just don't want to. You know? And... it was a great time, but they never did it again. I don't know why. Maybe it cost too much. I wasn't even a CC at that time, I think. I don't even know. I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I don't even know when I became a CC because I didn't, like... go to Wargaming and be like, hey, I want to be a CC. It was like, the dude asked me. Community contributor. Community contributor. That I'm supposed to contribute to the community, even though I kind of don't. No, that's not an ace. Sad. 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 No ace. No wins. Sad. I mean, I gotta say, Wargaming never watches my streams, which is a good thing. Alright, tomorrow I don't know, I might... Glory, stop, please don't spam, that's not cool. That's not cool. So, I might stream the new Tank Destroyers tomorrow. Don't know, though. So, that said, thank you, as always, for watching. Oh, look at that, I'm a dark creature now. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. And as always, stay safe. Don't die. Goodbye.